FaZe Banks comes clean about owning CSGOWild on his manager's brother's podcast. Hi, I'm Tommy C. This is Shot from the Point News. Do you remember this?
Me, who got you on the CSGOWild? Who got you on Snapchat? You me.
Did you hear that? We got to the CSGOWild.
Me, who got you on the CSGOWild? Who got you?
Okay, this video was used as evidence that FaZe Banks had a bigger stake or actual ownership in CSGOWild, which of course is a CSGO skins gambling website. This was actually used to show that there was a connection between FaZe Clan and CSGOWild, something that just until recently they denied completely. Now you're probably asking yourself, why would they deny something like this? Why would they do this? Does anybody remember this video in 2016? I remember it because indirectly this would spawn the first baited podcast episode. It's called Lies or Deception, Lies, and CSGO from H3 Productions, when he did a lot more commentating on YouTube culture and things of that nature. You can see here CSGO reached peak shadiness with Pro Syndicate and Team Martin. And what this video is about is that we have certain streamers that have kids audience that are introducing gambling to those kids. My position on the time was, well, first of all, under American law, it probably doesn't fall under gambling because there actually has to be a cash exchange. I don't think that's the case in Europe, but what this ended up sort of blowing up is guys like Team Martin, Pro Syndicate, and forgotten name Josh OG. They would go on these websites, pretend they didn't own them, and then they would advertise like, "Oh, I went to the skins website and look at all the money I won. This is crazy. Look at all the skins I won, which I was able to turn into cash." Yeah, and there was a problem with this, because the FTC got involved. When you advertise something like that and you have a piece of it, you have to let everybody know in the video that you have a piece of it. And that was not being done. Both Team Martin and Pro Syndicate got a slap on the wrist from the FTC. They had to pay an undisclosed amount of money, but this is what kicked it off. Interesting here, it says, special thanks to Honor the Call for the excellent research. Honor the Call was a YouTuber and really journalist that was leading the charge trying to uncover this, and then he just stopped doing it. He started doing Jake Paul videos in 2017. He got into business with Keemstar, and he no longer does this. And he was actually interviewed on this channel back in 2016, and boy, I never met anybody in my life hungrier to bust the FaZe Clan. And then when 2017 came, that was long gone. And that's a story in itself. Fast forward to just in the last few days. This is called the Bad News Podcast. And one of the members of this podcast is younger brother is named Tav Cooperman. Tav Cooperman is the manager and friend of FaZe Banks. And Banks would reveal on this podcast that he owned CSGOWild all along. Now, this is not a secret. Everybody knew it, but they continued to deny it. And it was just, it was one of those things. It was like an open secret on the internet. And after Team Martin and Pro Syndicate got in trouble, they were even more motivated to keep this quiet. It's interesting. Around the same time of that H3 video, I noticed. Now, I do not know exactly when this stream took place. When Banks talks about or gets an argument with Rain over CSGOWild.
Every fucking video you need. Me, who got you on the CSGOWild? Who got you on Snapchat?
Okay, but it is around. It says, let's see, it's July 22nd, and this is July 4th. So yeah, so this guy found a stream. I do not know when this stream was uploaded, and yeah, there were a lot of questions floating around about Banks. Now, Banks would actually seek some mental health rumors of drug use that well, it's not even rumors. He said he had a drug use problem. He apparently went into rehab, but in 2018 he said he never did that. Banks has been all over on that. That's another story for another time. But yeah, as you can see here, there, you know, he wasn't. I remember Honor the Call showing this to me as evidence. Where who got you on the CSGOWild. Now, that is not proof that Banks owned it, but it is proof that, you know, they were at very least working with the company. As it turns out, Banks takes full credit for owning it. You got to hear this.
With this idea for a different way to do it, and we branded it the right way. And my motivation for doing it actually was, at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was going to cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that. So my brain, like, we got to finesse it. We got to figure out how to make the money to buy this team now, because in the next 6 months, year, this team's gonna be worth like $4 or $5 million, and we're not gonna be able to get into this game, which in our heads we need to get in this game. So we create this website, and through our rake and all this, we were making like $200,000 a day. And we set it up in Antigua. We set it up in Antigua. I had a house in Antigua for like.
Where's that?
For like Antigua in the Caribbean.
Island, yeah.
Where?
It's an island.
It's one of those like islands where they.
The best.
It's an island in the Caribbean where
What?
gambling. We're running a gambling website is completely legal if you have the permits and stuff to do it. So we flew there. We flew there private, sat down with the guy who runs the country, basically paid him like $100,000, and he gave us the license. We had this whole estate, and we had guys with, because this place is crazy. Yeah. Like, if you don't live at the top of the hill in one of these like crazy estate mansions, like you live in a favela, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything's crazy. A bottle of water is like $5, and my buddy broke his iPhone out there and had to spend like 2 racks on it. And we had like a little shitty Jeep Cherokee that we were driving around. It cost us 80 G's. Like everything, it's just like this little like piece of land that like nobody gives a about. Right. There's no money to be made, so like whatever. But yeah, we were out there and ran this website for a few months, and then the whatever, it was all regulated and shut down. And we were the only ones who were doing it legitimate, so we shut our shit down. And there's still people who are doing it, making crazy money.
You know, it's kind of interesting that Ricky would throw in that they were the only ones that were doing it legitimate. Then why so secretive? You know, very, very secretive, especially in 2016. But this was all the rage, and H3 did point out, and this was the beginning of the end, that this is gambling aimed at kids. If I remember correctly, you could join your Steam account with some of these gambling sites, which Gabe Noel put an end to shortly after H3's video. But here's something I didn't know. I am not anti-gambling. I consider myself a libertarian, and at the time, I had no issue with this one way or another. I think an easy solution to the problem was just, you know, make sure you're 18 before you go in. But that really was never the issue. It's so funny. The moral issue was not what got T. Martin Pro Syndicate in trouble. The problem was with it is that they advertised it. So FaZe clan members would advertise that they were just really into this, and it really was just that, an advertisement. And there was always some questions. Well, you know, you'd always see the FaZe Clan's members just winning serious cash. I mean, no one's posted, in fairness, no one's posting a video where you're losing. That's not a great way to advertise it. But I want you to watch this, because I actually just found out about this a little more than an hour ago. I didn't realize that this was coin flip gambling. I mean, the ultimate in degeneracy, in gambling degeneracy. And you're talking to somebody who is a gambler. Okay, here's how it works. If you check it out right here, you got Rain has his coin, and this video is still up. Rain has his coin, his opponent has a coin, and they will have a coin flip. A coin flip. This is ultimate degeneracy, and I got to be honest with you. I might be walking what I said in 2016 back a little bit. This is nothing for children. This is I would never allow my kid to do this. This will create a gambling problem. This is degeneracy, and I'm not against gambling. But in the United States, at the time, at very least, it probably was legal because there's no actual cash exchange. But as you can see, some of these items are worth serious money. The total here is for Rain is $6,900, and his opponent is $6,200 over a coin flip. I'm not kidding you. Watch this.
Of course, there's
Good luck,
asphalt.
good luck.
Someone's playing him, dude. What the? What the?
Yes!
Let's go! Let's go! No way! Yes! No way! Let's go! Let's go, dude!
That's insane. We used to call them degens when I played cards. Guys that would just bet over anything. And you're literally betting over a coin flip. Who's playing this? People that are well under the age of 18. Now, again, if adults want to do this, ruin their lives, feel free. But the fact of the matter is children never should have been exposed to this. I should have done my research back in 2016. But I think because I was such a big poker guy, and, we had, the Obama administration leaning on the poker websites, which I thought it was, which is a much less of a game of chances than a coin flip. I kind of immediately sided with the CSGOWilds of the world. And, but this is pure degeneracy, and I can see why it's so controversial now. I was new back then. I was just trying to hang on the Baited podcast. Now, let me make this abundantly clear. The morality or the child gambling stuff is not what got T. Martin and Pro Syndicate in trouble. What got them in trouble is they were not forthcoming about owning the sites that they were advertising. And remember what I just told you before, FaZe Banks denied owning one of these companies up until this bad news podcast. This is what could put him in potentially in some legal peril, considering that Pro Syndicate and T. Martin did have to pay the price. You're looking at Jake Lucky. I watch his stuff all the time on Esports Talk. I highly recommend you check them out if you want to understand what's going on in esports. They don't just cover drama. They cover the teams, what's going on, the business deals. Jake does a very good job. And as you can see here, he's had a rough day. He's had a very, very rough day. I think, and I personally experienced the 9-year-old FaZe Clan army, and I think he did too. He put a video out about this recently. That video is called FaZe Banks Admits FaZe Clan Ran CSGO Skins Gambling Site, and that was on the 11th, just 2 days ago. And he looks rough there too. He looks pretty rough there too. Just a day later, same shirt, looking rougher. He goes on and talks about this case. Obviously, he was very involved in this case at the time. This was a very, very big deal, and he's clearly faced the wrath. But I'm going to let him take it away and tell you why he's involved in this case and why it's so important to him.
Thought this was old news. If you guys don't remember 4 years back when these accusations first arose, myself and many other people out there in the scene were actually trying to call out FaZe Clan for, owning the site, which we suppose is actually CSGOWild. FaZe Banks, in his own words, has even come out now and said, yes, they created the site to help pay for their CSGO roster. If you guys don't know, the site had a lot of accusations around it, much like many CSGO gambling sites did, and they never admitted to it back in the day that they did have these relationships. What FaZe Banks said is to own and operate and run the website.
Okay, let's look at this. This is from June 19th, 2016, around the time of the... God, we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of the Baited podcast. Didn't expect this kind of thing to blow up like this. Keeping my head up. We have a lot of news coming out about FaZe Clan to say exposed, and you're an F word. Autismo. This is the way FaZe Clan used to deal with things. I personally remember when Article exposed about the video game that they took money for but never made. This was a tweet that he received, very similar tweet that he received. But I will let Jake go on.
They denied 4 years ago. So yes, I'm gonna make a video if all of a sudden 4 years later, FaZe Banks just openly says, oh yeah, we own that website. Because you know what?
Let me guess. They're telling you you're doing it for clout. And that's the only reason you're doing it. You have no evidence, you have nothing to talk about, and you have a bunch of kids screaming at you that you are jealous and that you will never be FaZe Banks and you will never be in the you're just a loser.
Why? When I first brought this up back in the day, I faced so many threats. Death threats towards me and my family from crazy little fanboys out there who somehow did not believe me and said I was trying to get clout and views by lying. I even faced berating from both Banks as well as Rain, who I'm now talking to try and figure out the situation more. So of course, guys,
Ooh. Rain, you get a stitch? I wonder if the statute of limitations is up.
And clear my name, and to prove to the few of you guys out there who somehow did not believe me that I was right and that others were right about this, yeah, I'm going to make the video. And somehow, some way.
So he must be taking crap for making this. Why are you bringing it? It's old news. Everybody knew that. Like 4 years ago, that's BS. You're making it up. Now it's old news. Everybody knows it. Jake's having a tough time here.
Why I'm making this video is because
I think he's got vodka in that coffee.
Because there are still even people out there. I'm not talking to a lot of you guys, but certainly probably some of you watching are wondering, why is this such a big deal? Oh, I wonder why it would be a big deal that a FaZe Clan owner right now, at least in Banks, and also he did say we have no idea who else inside FaZe Clan apparently were running and operating this website, but when at least FaZe Banks has admitted that he created the website known as CSGOWild, and then several of their own members were gambling tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on that same very website, and you guys can't see the issue with that, and I can't get that through to you, then I don't know what I can get through to you guys at all.
You can't. Don't try. like your job as a newsman is just to bring the news, and then you got to sort of ignore the fallout. But it's, you know, for guys like him, I mean, it's probably pretty difficult to be called a liar when you're doing what you're doing and you're trying to maintain truthfulness with your audience, only to 4 years later find out what you were investigating was 100% true. You had your name dragged through the mud by the fans, by the FaZe Clan, and this guy goes, oh, by the way, I did own that. Yeah, I'd make a video too, to clear my name, to show my audience that what I was saying in 2015 and 16 was correct. That's completely legitimate, and I get where Jake's coming from. Yeah, 100%. I think I'm more used to taking the death threats. I think I'm a little more used to having the my integrity called into question, because I mean that's the trick. You don't attack the argument, you attack the individual. You try to discredit the individual, not the argument itself. And yeah, obviously Jake, you know, holds himself up as somebody who spreads the truth. You have to. When you do stuff like this, if nobody believes you, then your videos are pretty much worthless. And I think he's right for bringing it up. My sources tell me that the bulk of FaZe Banks' wealth comes from CSGOWild. And I think my source is correct, because if you go back and listen to Banks' podcast, this Bad News podcast, he said he needed $1 million to start a CSGO team for the FaZe Clan. That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. And they didn't have it. And they didn't have it. So obviously the FaZe Clan is a lot bigger now, because $1 million would be nothing, than it was just a couple years ago. Pretty good chance. That's circumstantial evidence that the bulk of his wealth comes from this venture.
My motivation for doing it actually was, at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was going to cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that.
So it's interesting that at least to me, and my history with it, and obviously to poor Jake here, who's been cleared, that this is all coming to a head now, and we're finding out the truth. And it's going to be very interesting, just, you know, where it goes from here. Now, you might think that I'm doing this because I got a grudge against banks after all 100K video of me arguing with them on Twitter, the Barley House stuff. You'd be wrong. I know what I've said. I love Banks. You know why? Because he has loose lips. And he contradicts himself a lot. And he's funny. And you find out all these things. He has a very interesting life. There's no doubt about it. I don't really necessarily, as long as no kids are involved or there's nothing going on in the back end, I have no problem with gambling websites. I think in some ways FaZe Banks is to be admired for the way he's just a broke ass kid from Lowell, Massachusetts. Oh, he told me I lied about that. That's interesting. And he's been able to do so much with it. But yeah, he does have some business practices. He doesn't always tell the truth, and the social media should hold him accountable for it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I'm glad. I understand why this means so much to him. It doesn't really mean all that much to me. It's just funny. I enjoy it. I enjoyed making this video. Like, sub, share, and I'll see you around if I have any more information about this.